Welcome to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. This show is going to take you on a journey into the dynamic world of female entrepreneurship. In this show, we're going to celebrate victories, navigate the challenges, and embrace the roller coaster ride of building a business. So, whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned business owner, join us as we explore the hustle, the thrills, and yes, the spills of entrepreneurship. Let's get it. Welcome back to the Woman's Hustle. It is your girl, Coach K, and I am back with another dope, informative, entrepreneurial-based session. Listen, if you have not subscribed to the channel, to the podcast at this point, I know you need to go ahead and just do that right now. Hit that button, favorite the podcast. If you are watching, then you see that I am not here by myself. So I'm going to allow my guest the honors of introducing herself. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, Coach K, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So please let my listeners know who you are and what you do.
My name is Terrina Taylor. I'm in merchant services. So what we do is we provide merchant accounts and credit card processing equipment for minority and women-owned businesses, especially underrepresented communities. And we also provide financial literacy because it's something that business owners and entrepreneurs need to know ahead of time before they start businesses. And, keep learning, keep growing.
I love it. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for taking the time out to hop on Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. And we're going to dive a little bit into it. So, my listeners always want to know, what got you started? Like, tell us a little bit about your backstory.
In 2021, when we were kind of coming back to work from the pandemic, my mom and I, we own a salon. So it was a lot of contactless payments at that time. So I was trying to figure out a way to do that because most of the time we were just accepting cash.
Right.
So to start accepting credit cards, I looked online to see what was the best thing for me to do. And of course, Square popped up for more in person. Get me the little Square card reader. So I started accepting payments with the Square. And then I had a situation where I would store a person's card in my system. So if I stored a person's card in my system, I noticed that the fees were different as opposed to if somebody swiped their card on a little reader. So that just led me down a learning path of learning why, and it's because of the risk involved. So once I learned about that, I just wanted to learn more, and I found a company that I was able to partner with, and I learned more about, everything that they can offer, and I could be able to offer those same services to people as well. So I jumped in, and that's my
Hey, I absolutely love it. Let's just talk about the fact that you even went and looked, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, I do use Square, but I really didn't. I used like a couple of other platforms, but as I grew with business, I had to look at like everything that was inclusively included, right? Like every other feature too. But it also prompted me to start paying attention to those fees. You know what I'm saying? And is honestly with these fees, I think a lot of times people feel like everything should be free. In your professional opinion with that, is it true that pretty much everybody does have some form of processing fee when it comes to that?
Definitely. Everybody has a processing fee because the credit card companies, Discover, Visa, American Express, MasterCard, they going to charge their fees. They're going to charge their fee.
Period.
And their fees is called interchange. Interchange is usually 1.6 to 1.8% of your credit card processing.
Okay.
So that's what they charge. And it's something that you can't get around. You have to. Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that you said that too, because like, I think a lot of times we do want to get around that. And I think a lot of times too, that's why a lot of us don't go into the contactless payments. I started off with Cash App. I don't even use Cash App for my business anymore. I don't use it
at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't use it. And don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from nobody's hustle when it comes to getting their money, right? But if you're wanting to grow and pivot as a business owner, there is a time where you got to say, I've got to really look into other things. I actually had, as we record this, I had an event here at my location over the weekend, and some of the vendors only took Cash App. Well, because I know the customers and the clients, the people that were going to be patronizing, a lot of them had cards.
Right.
A lot of them, so it was like, these are the things that I talk about when it comes to startup business. These are the things. Everybody does not use Cash App, people. You really need to look into having another form, especially if you're selling a physical product, even a digital product. a product period. You need to have other forms and methods of payment, with regards to that. So girl, you dug down that hole and now look at you elevating it. I love it.
I'm just saying, like, you also too, I know when you start in your hustle, you're trying to find the best way to start it as cheaply as possible. Like, all of us have. But once it comes to like security and you wanting to protect your customers, identity and stuff behind that, you gotta elevate. Because with our services, that's one thing that we make sure that you are PCI compliant, because you have to have those things in place for security reasons. Because there's so much scam out there right now. You got
You better talk about it. Tell us what PCI stands for.
PCI is Payment Card Industry Security Data Standard. So it's called PCI DSS. So that's just a security standard that all people that accept credit cards should be under, if that PCI DSS standard, because it's a basic form of security that you need to have in place when you're accepting payments, especially online, because like I said, of the fraud.
Right. Hey, y'all definitely need to know this. Y'all know y'all need to know this. Y'all ain't heard this before, okay? And when it comes to building and elevating, these are some of the key things that you guys need to know about. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I didn't know what I have those things in place, but I ain't know what that stood for on the real. Like, hey, we being raw and real over here. So
make sure you got it though, because
absolutely
online. So many people can say, for instance, that they spent money with you. They did spend money with you, and then all of a sudden, oh no, that wasn't mine. And then, the risk of chargebacks involved. There's a lot of
We've
stuff.
been seeing an increase of that lately. Have you been seeing that?
Yeah.
And let's talk about that for a second.
Did you hear about Stripe's new standards for content creators? What they doing, the crackdown on that? And because there's a lot of fraud and scams going on, they put new rules in place as far as how you can use their platform for content creators. So if you are using Stripe, you should look into that and make sure that you have everything in place and everything is good. Maybe all your paperwork in order, make sure you go through all that upfront stuff if you continue to use Stripe, because that's something that they may crack down on you with and might drop you. I'm always here for y'all. So if they do,
y'all already know her details will be in the podcast information notes. I'm loving that she is coming on here and dropping all this game. We ain't even been 10 minutes in, y'all, and y'all done got so much free game. Y'all can stop listening now, but don't. Okay. But no, I think we don't talk about financial literacy enough, especially in entrepreneurship. We don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about it because people feel like because they're not making money, these things should not be in place, where that is exact opposite. That is exactly why you want to have those conversations. So when it comes to more of the financial literacy side, tell us a little bit more on the education that you provide.
Well, right now I'm really trying to get into a position where I could teach in school system.
Nice.
I'm trying to get a partnership with my local school. I live in Baltimore City, so
okay. Hey, I hear that Baltimore accent, baby.
Right? I love it. Trying to teach the youth at a good ripe age to learn about these things, because a lot of us in our communities, we don't learn until we mess up. So we gotta go through a bankruptcy. We gotta go through a whole bunch of credit card debt. We gotta learn this from the actually doing it. It's better to learn before, so you don't have to make no mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you don't make mistakes, but you know what I'm saying, just giving that upfront education, learning about certain things before you get into a situation. Like one thing I did with my kids, I got 2 girls. I put them on my credit card as an authorized user. So they'll have a credit card. They'll learn a little bit about spending, open up a bank account early, learn how to save. It's just certain things that we should be teaching them. Middle school, high school, even earlier if you can. But middle school is really a good age to be learning about financial literacy and just some of the basic principles, budgeting, saving, that you should be knowing.
You better talk about it, Terrina, because the thing about it is people feel like if it's not being taught in school, that it shouldn't be taught, or you shouldn't be teaching it. As parents, we have that obligation to continue the education, to load on top of whatever is being taught in school. We are now in a time where we know that the education system was not necessarily designed to help us win. You know what I'm saying? And especially in our culture, we go and parents are like, oh, well, they learn that. They should be learning that at school. No. Okay. If they're not, then you should be teaching that. You know what I'm saying? Like that should be something that should be implemented. I get that we work. I get that we sometimes have to do multiple jobs, but you still have to, because you're still, excuse me, you're still should be learning, adapting that growth mindset.
That's the downfall too, is this a lot of our parents didn't know.
Yep.
For instance, me and my mom struggled all her life. So anything that I learned, I pretty much learned from her example of what not to do, or just learned on my own. Because my mother didn't really know a lot about financial literacy. It's like she was just, robbing Peter to pay Paul sometimes, try, make it. So if the parents really don't know, it's up to them to also get that education so they could teach their children as well.
And it's never too late to do that. Like, I love that you put that. We're going to always be. The great thing about having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset is you are becoming a lifelong learner. Hey, I'm about to be 48 years old as I record this, baby. And when I tell you my growth mindset is wide open, I am so open to learn new things, to hear about new things, because it's necessary. I want to continue to elevate myself as a business owner, as an individual, as a brand. And I know that I don't know everything. So in being able to instill that and having these conversations, hey, it's all about it to me, because maybe once we get off, I'll probably be like, hey, so tell me about this and this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no problem with asking those questions. And I just want us to break that stigma of feeling like that we have to be quiet and not talk about those things because we don't want to look dumb or we don't want to look stupid or uneducated. You uneducated when you're not asking. Exactly. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
And the more you learn, the more you know that you don't know everything, and the more you know you need to learn more.
That was a big reality for me.
I didn't know that. Let me learn some more about it, because you don't know, and it's like you constantly learning something that you didn't know, and then you got to pick up and start learning more. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, it's facts. Yes, I love it. So your ambition is like super dope. Like, you are very well rounded, and you could just tell that you love doing this. You love talking about it. So tell us how you balance that, with regards to your purpose and with regards to your mental well-being, because I can't go by without talking about our mental well-being, because I advocate for that every day. So how does that work for you?
I just work on certain days. Like, I hustle on certain days. I'm not a all around hustler like people that you got to be hustling 24/7 and you got to wake up this. I don't do that. Honestly, I don't. And sometimes I feel bad, like I'm not hustling like I should. But you got to know that your body needs rest. And when your mind and body needs rest, because your body is telling you that you need it. You can't constantly be on the grind all the time and don't take no rest or no time for yourself. Take time for yourself, chill out, relax, get your mind together, write stuff down. You got to plan ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's part of what I do. I just like to plan ahead, clear my mind. I check my emails on certain days. I post on certain days. I don't post every day on social media every day. Social media will drain you. When to take a step back from social media, because some of that stuff on there, they have you going crazy.
Yes, I'm talking about immediately, like the demand. And then, of course, when you're seeing other people doing it, you're like, oh, I should be doing that. I love that you said that, because, again, because you're planning and putting things in motion, and this is a lesson that I want people to understand. No, you don't have to work every day if you have a plan in action, if you're disciplined, if you're intentional, because when you're not working, the things in the background are still working. You know what I'm saying? So you have that plan and you're like, you know what? I have only do it on certain days. But guess what? Especially when it comes to social media now, the way these algorithms rolling now, baby, the stuff that you posted on Monday ain't gonna get seen till Wednesday anyway. So, but
not till next Monday. You got to hear your stuff. So it's just like, and now they want to make you pay for everything.
Girl, that was the goal. Yes, that's the goal.
Just for the algorithm. So it's like, you gotta find a way just to get to your people without exhausting yourself. You gotta find a way. Build up that email list. Go out and networking events locally. I do a lot of local stuff. You know what I'm saying? Podcasts is a good way to talk to other people that you got to find a better way. Social media.
You have to be open. Yes. You have to be open to other avenues. I love y'all. This girl is giving y'all so much free game right now. If y'all ain't got no notebook in front of y'all listening to this episode, that's why you need to make sure that you subscribe so you can go back and catch it. Okay. Because she is spitting facts. You have to be open to all avenues when it comes to entrepreneurship and building your brand and your business. It is not just about social media. Yes, if you have clients, because I'll be honest, 70% of my original clientele came from Facebook. But in the last year, year and a half, I have 6 other avenues that have now opened up clientele for me.
Right.
Is it the internet? Absolutely. But it's also locally based and stuff like that. So being in networking events, not necessarily being in them, but also just going to engage with other people.
Yep.
You know, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
If you're trying to build and pivot as a business owner, get out of your comfort zones, y'all. Y'all gonna have to. Otherwise, you're gonna still be talking about the same goal stuff in 2025. And we want to grow. You know, everybody has their own individual journey, but it's still a journey nonetheless. So
Yes, indeed.
just be mindful of that and be intentional and be disciplined. So I love that she did. So speaking of community, right? How has your community been when it comes to supporting you as a business owner and how you're growing? You know, how has that worked out for you so far? Good, bad?
Honestly, it's growth is slow for me because what I do is so specific.
Mhm.
Not that everybody doesn't need it, but it's just so specific, and a lot of people already have their systems in place and they're not
Yeah.
ready to change quickly. So for me, it's more of talking a lot about my services and telling people what I do and more education than anything. Because
Okay.
a lot of people just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know when I first started. Like you said, it's some things that you didn't know, and we could talk about it later. So it's just like more education, teaching. And I have opportunity this summer. Last summer I had the opportunity as well. But this summer I have an opportunity to partner with my local youth works program. So this summer I'll have 4 youth working for me this summer. And I'll get to teach them a lot about financial literacy. They'll be able to go out there and help me talk about my services out in the community more. Because, you know, more hands is more hands is better than one.
You better say it. You better say it.
You know, when I get to the point where I can build up a little small team, it'll be better for me, especially with the youth, because the youth, they're so, you know, social media is their thing. Social media is not thing at all. So if they can get out there and reach more people, then me, that'll be a great opportunity for me to teach them something and for them to learn something as far as their growth, what they can do as far as their voice is concerned. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to do this summer, teach these kids about any type of financial literacy, any way I can help them to save, learn about budgeting, anything that I can help them that their parents are not able to teach them or didn't teach them yet. I want to be able to do that for them, and just partnering with like some of the, you know, programs in my city just to get that word out there, you know.
That's so dope. That's so dope. Like kudos to you for that. Because it does start with our youth. They, you know, a lot of people want to dismiss our youth. And you know, I advocate for women, of course, in our community, but I also advocate for our youth and, you know, partner up with other people that are leading, you know, youth organizations and stuff like that. But the thing about it is they don't give them enough credit sometimes, you know, and I know that we have some that are, you know, lost on their journey and, you know, cutting the hell up in layman's terms. But we magnify them so much that we don't talk about the ones who are actually trying to make a difference and who are actually, you know, trying to do good and learn about things. So I love that you're able to take some under your wing and teach them, because you are going to benefit for that. Because once they learn it, they're going to be like, yes, I'm promoting this. Let me put this on my social media. This is what I got going. You know, like, I think that that's amazing. Reach one, teach one. Definitely. You know, and that's exactly what you're doing. So huge shout out to you for that. You know, to keep building in the community. It's necessary. You know, even through the negative thing. Yeah.
Because, like, especially in my city, most people, when they hear Baltimore, they think automatically bad. So, you know, just to have the opportunity to teach something that could take these kids further and farther than I've been is good. Because, like, when you just look at the way the youth are now, as a whole, they nothing like us, and they need leadership. They need guidance. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many parents that aren't there for their children. It's they letting the streets raise their children, and that's why they are the way they are. They just a product of the environment. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if you teach them better, they'll have a chance to go farther.
Yeah, and we also got to break that whole mindset of, oh, don't do as I say, not as I do. Like, we can't live like that anymore. Like, you know, we got raised on that, you know, if you see me cutting up down, me and you cut up, why not?
Right.
I'm looking at what you doing. I want to be just like you when I grow up. But like, we got to shake that whole outdated, I call it outdated mindset and outdated thinking, because the days of you saying, oh, you can go out here and act a damn fool, but don't think your kids ain't going to come out here and act a fool. That's a reality that you better turn around, because it's just not going to happen. And then you can't get mad when they cutting up. Yeah, you can't get mad when they cutting up because they see you cutting up.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I think that that's amazing. Congratulations on that, but also having that dedication to make a difference, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 20. I think that that's amazing, so and that's going to be your community as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to build relationships with them for the long term. Who's to say? They might be your employees 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the goal. I think that that's
the goal.
Keep it up. Keep it up. So share with the audience a thrill that you have had to start your entrepreneur journey.
I have so many. I got my WBE and BE certification.
Hey,
I'm registered in SAM, even though I'm still looking for my first government contract. I have applied to a couple RFPs, so I'm looking for my first government contract. That's one. I just graduated. Got my little certification for Baltimore Planning Academy. I was in a 6-week cohort for learning about planning and zoning within the city.
Nice.
I'm also about to get my certification with the NMFDC for minority business certification, so I can kind of expand my network and get my foot in more doors. So all the things I'm going forward towards, I'm trying to move forward, fast. It's going slow, but
slow and steady wins the race, baby. Like, slow and steady wins the race, but also it prevents us sometimes from making like the rookie mistakes and then having to restart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're putting yourself in position for the long term, right? Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure that you want your business to be around for the next 10, 20, 30 years, and to be able to pass it on to them beautiful girls. So like to be able to have that, you doing what you're supposed to do, sis. So that is a huge shout out. Those certifications matter. I'm also certified. So they definitely matter. And I think that that's amazing. Like, but with the thrill must come spill. So definitely, if you want to just, and like I said, no holds barred, you share what you want to share, but we definitely want to hear maybe a spill or two that you've encountered since beginning the entrepreneur journey.
One of my first clients that I signed up with Merchant Services, I met them through the chamber because I'm in the Baltimore City Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
I met them through the chamber, and a really nice man. He's from India, and he has a company online. He was starting a new business, and I thought everything would be cool, but what wasn't cool is that his new business started getting a lot of chargeback. So once your ratio of chargebacks come to a certain percentage, we had to drop him because it was just too many chargebacks to count. It was so many on top of so many. So that was just one of the things that it was a learning experience.
Right.
Basically knowing who you're dealing with from the get-go, knowing their stuff from the beginning is really what we need to do. We need to vet our clients as much as possible. Also, with the fraud going on, I had a lot of situations where people would make appointments, but it was pretty much fraud. They would act like there was another person, take their email address, act like they was somebody else. And then when it was time to get on a Zoom call, they didn't want to show their face because they wasn't actually the person who they said they were. So a lot of things like that just made me more cautious. You got to vet, like you said, get on these calls, make sure the person is who they say they are, and make sure they have all their stuff in place when they sign up to get an account. Because
absolutely. And like you said, you had a lot of chargebacks. So, that's definitely a red flag. And I want to be mindful to pay attention to that, because sometimes as business owners, we'll be like, oh, well, it'll get better. We'll keep. So kudos to you for making that decision, because I know it probably wasn't the easiest decision to make to let them go. And, as entrepreneurs, we want to, we don't want to lose that relationship per se, but if it's affecting our business negatively, it is something that we have to look at and say,
exactly.
I know it's not necessarily you, but we gotta let that go. Because baby, if y'all think these big organizations don't be dropping people like bad habits, hey, quick, fast, and in a hurry. So be okay. We're saying all money ain't good money, and be okay to say all clients ain't your clients. Because that's my first year. I wanted to help everybody, but hey, I came to that reality quick. So now you got to meet a certain criteria. Yes, we got to meet, we got to talk, we got to have that conversation. And I need to see some type of credential when it comes to what it is that you're doing. You don't necessarily got to be a certification, but there's something that I have to see that's going to assure me that working with you is not going to damage me as a business owner, but more importantly, as an individual.
Definitely. Yeah, I learned that. That took me a long time to learn with, being a hairstylist. Because my mom has this, I think this is 35 years we've been open this year.
Nice.
And so for me, when I first started, I was young because I've been in the salon since I was a baby. I started doing actually like real hair once I graduated high school when I was about 18. And I started to get burnt out, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And it was really because I was just letting people take advantage of me. That's why I didn't want to do it. Once you get those boundaries, put those boundaries in place and set that, in there and raise your prices a little bit, it get better.
Yeah, I absolutely, girl, listen, y'all. Hey, them boundaries is critical, people. Critical. You have to have boundaries.
You had a boundary.
You gotta have them boundaries. Listen, as we come in, share real quick, like a productivity hack, or something, a time management tip. Share that with the audience, something that you do, to keep yourself, kind of on focus.
Like I said, I plan ahead, so I write stuff down, or in my little notebook. I write on which days I'm going to do certain things, how much time I want to stay focused on that certain thing, and then it's like a little, what's it called? It's a little, let me look at it really quick.
Go ahead.
It's a little,
like app itself.
Yeah, a little Chrome extension called the Pomodoro technique, and you can focus on a task for 25 minutes at a time. And then take a little small break. So, that you focus, and you can even like have music playing in the background if you want to focus on the task 25 minutes, take a 15-minute break, 25 minutes, take a 15-minute break. It's like, it's good to keep productive, but off of small breaks in between. The computer screen is rough.
Yeah. And I love that. And I'm actually have to look into that app because I actually have implemented that policy myself. To where I like have a reminder go off because I do 30 minutes. So like I'll do a reminder for 30 minutes because my mind wanders a lot. I have to like space that within 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. And I also make sure I put that in the comment section, you guys. So if you guys want to look into that productivity and time management hack, I'll definitely make sure that information is there. So let us know what's coming up for you. We talked about it a little bit earlier. But share with the audience what's upcoming for you. What's the goal for the next 1, 5, 10 years?
For the next 5 years, let's start with the one first. For the first this year, like I said, with the Youth Works, the program that I have coming this summer, I hope to be able to hire at least one of them on for the remainder of the year after the summer. And then build me a little small team so I can start going out more into the community to reach more people, talk to more people. 5 years, I want to have a whole team set up in place. So when I do get that government contract and we're going nationally, I can have some team to go national and set up, systems if need be. Because a lot of people, they're not really techy with certain products. So I'll have like me a little small tech team and we can go fly to a different state and go hook up their services. 10 years. I haven't even thought that far as 10 years.
And that's all right. Hey, 5 years. That 5 year is dope. Like, I think that's amazing. Like, let me just say this from one entrepreneur to another. I'm super proud of you. Like, you are really doing what you want to do. Like, and you could tell that this is your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are so well-rounded, well-versed, and just know what it is that you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what it is. And I think that is amazing. Like, from one woman to another, one entrepreneur to another, one Black woman to another Black woman. Like, please continue to do what it is that you're doing. Please let my audience know where they can find you at on social media and anywhere
else. Social media, I'm on LinkedIn, just my regular name. I'm on Instagram as Terrina Taylor, and I'm on Facebook saying this Terrina Taylor. I keep it simple.
Clear. All right. Well, yep. We will definitely make sure that all those links are in the podcast details section, y'all. Terrina, it has been so dope, sis. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you so much for coming on The Woman's Hustle, dropping your thrills and your spills. And like I said, just keep doing what you're doing, sis. You definitely making a difference.
Thank you so much, Coach K. I really appreciate you having me on. This is great.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all. We headed out of here. Y'all know, again, if you have not subscribed, make sure you do right now, because these are the conversations that we need to talk about. The raw, the uncut, the real deal when it comes to entrepreneurship. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all follow me on all platforms at Coach K Transforms, and I'll holla back.